Well, I'm making a video to respond to this post right here. This person has built a site, says they built a site for PHP 4 years ago, and they want to upgrade to PHP 7. They go on to say they built, I had Dreamweaver 2020, but my extensions to connect the database are all out of date. Okay, let me show you how to do this, real simple. Go here. Look at the URL up here. Y'all can just Google W3 schools, and then you can click on PHP, and then come over here to the left and scroll down to MySQL Database, hit connect, and we'll actually do this. Go to File, New, you're going to make a PHP file using Dreamweaver, so go here, hit Create, Connect, PHP, then grab this code, and for your server name, put in your local host. For your username, put in your username. For your password, put in your password if you have one. Then it should connect and test it out. You have to have a WAMP server. So make sure your WAMP server is on, or your whatever server you're using. I use XAMPP. I don't know about the others. But this is my XAMPP server. You want to make sure your Apache server and your MySQL is on if you're using that. And then throw it up and test it, and it should connect. It should say that it's successful. And check connection. This lets you connect it successfully. If you see that when you throw it up, you're good to go. You've connected. That's all you've got to do. Okay, so right here you would put in root. I don't have a password. And it will say connected successfully. If it doesn't connect successfully, it'll say this. Okay, now here I'm able to write a PHP script from a PHP document and send a record to my database that's on my local server. I amended some things. I added this database name, and since I added that there, I had to add it here. And what I looked at as my resource for this was this right here. Right here, we went over the MySQL Connect thing. Now we're going over this. So they had the database name there and here, so I added that in. Then they had the query here. So basically, I copied their format and put in my own stuff and tried it out, and it worked. Okay, let me show you. Okay, hit refresh. Okay, that's my record as it stands now. Okay, now watch. When I go over here and I hit F12 to display it, it'll say new record created successfully. And then when I go back and look at my records and hit refresh, it's there. It's very cool. See? The fourth one? Very cool. I love it. So I'm able to do this on the local. I need to be able to do it on a remote, but I think I've got it down. The other thing I want to do is figure out how to pull that information, like have somebody do it on a form and then have the query get sent up to the database. But that's what I've got so far. Okay, y'all, here's a quick demo of a form I created. Throw it up and show you how it works using PHP. Okay, so that takes, when I hit submit, it's in a form. It's going to go to this PHP document. and process it accordingly to what this document tells it to do. What this document tells it to do is to take the seed name and post it here, take the type variable and post it here, take the vendor variable and post it here, take the germination variable, post it here, and take the to grow variable and post it here in the PHP page. Now, you say, well, where are those variables defined? They're defined right here. Anything that has name, that becomes a variable over here, like name record, that's a variable here. There, post record. Right here, global post seed name. Seed name comes from here, and it's a variable. It's a global variable. The post is the post is the global variable. But see, whatever the name attribute is, that becomes the variable over here. The global that's in the global variable post. Okay. Now, this up here was just me practicing some JavaScript on how I wanted this thing to work. So that's just scratch paper kind of stuff. This is my links, the resources I was using. Sometimes when I'm building this stuff, it's hard for me to remember what I used as my resource to get information. And this is the PHP that is activated when the submit button here is sent. And there's the file right there, the PHP file. It tells it to go here. Okay, I hope that helps some people. I'll try and do some more. But if y'all have a PHP project that y'all want to submit or a form that you want to demo, go ahead. I'd love to see it. What this clearly shows you is the input tag's name attribute clearly becomes the PHP variable here when you're using the filter input. Name a variable to get. These are the arguments it takes. The initial type, the string, which is the variable name, the type, the variable name, the filter, and an array is optional. But whatever the attribute name is on the input tag is what clearly becomes the PHP variable that they're talking about here. Note the URL here and the URL here. Okay, y'all, here's what that form looks like. Here's a real quick way of how to make that form. Okay, you got a container. You got 3 columns. In this middle column, 2 of the columns are empty. In the middle column, you've got a form, and inside the form, you've got 7 divs. Okay, we're going to use Emmet and Bootstrap to create this. Go to File, New, do HTML, hit Create, delete all this out. Click All Versions. In the right-hand corner, click 5. On the right-hand side, click Starter Template. On the right-hand side, click Copy to Clipboard. Paste it in. Delete this out. I've already downloaded Bootstrap 5 and put it in my site. If you don't know how to do that, go back and look at my previous post. You might have to go to my YouTube channel to find it because I think I took those posts down from this Facebook page because take this out, take this out, take this out. This is Emmet. Right there, it's version 5 of Bootstrap. That's how I know it's 5. This is Emmet. If you type this, here's the cheat sheet, here's the URL on that. If you type this and hit tab, you get this. Now you're going to have to do some more editing, but basically that gives you your structure. Okay, here's a quick tip how you can quickly build this layout, and second is to use Emmet. That's what this white cut line on line 14, that's what that is. You type it out, you hit tab, and you get this. Apply source formatting. This is what it looks like, which is pretty close to this. Now you'll notice here there's IDs on these input tags. You can easily put those in. Just Google Emmet cheat sheet and go here, and there it is, okay? This up here, you can Google like develop DV MySQL and probably get to it. But I had a hard time trying to find documentation for what I was trying to learn, and this was a good resource. This is their research. This is their resource. Also, I'm using this. I can't say enough good things about this W3 school. They're excellent. It's free. I'm not being paid to advertise with them. They're just wonderful. They have everything as far as HTML, CSS, Java, jQuery, anything you like, that programming language that you want to learn, they have it. They have it. And it's all in small bits of information, and you can pace yourself. You don't have to learn it all in one day. But yeah, you should pick a topic and read on it every morning while you're drinking your coffee. Here I have a database. This was just me playing around, and here's the table. Okay, so you can see I made a couple of columns. A table is a collection of related data, and it consists of columns and rows. So these are my columns right here, and I don't have anything in them yet. Databases are useful for storing information categorically. A company may have databases with the following tables: employees, products, customers, orders. PHP and MySQL Database System. PHP combined with MySQL or cross-platform. You can develop in Windows and serve on a Unix platform, which is very helpful. Database query. The query is a question on a request. And this is where you can run your queries. We can query a database for specific information and have a record set return. So if you want to practice, go here. I'm here, and I clicked here. Got this. Let's copy this, and we'll just amend it for our needs. Copy, and then I'm going to go over here to MySQL, and I'm going to paste it in there, and I'm going to write I. Okay. And then I've got a couple of changes to make. Database is and then I have record name type. Vendor, germination date, harvest date, and plant. Okay, this is going to be record 1. Harvest days are going to be and plant. Okay, I had to back off some of the columns and I just kept these 4, the record name, type and data, type and vendor, because once it got to the germination days, I couldn't get it to accept my query. So something was going on. I don't know. I think I had the wrong type in there. So I went back. I took those out. I deleted those rows out. I was able to get the query right here. You can see it successfully went through. Now I'm going to go back and try and add in those rows. So I went back into my browse area and hit row to add one in. And I'm going to play with it. I wanted to show you here. This is what I was talking about earlier. If you hit this, it will take you to the MySQL documentation that you need. And I've tried to look for it online. This is what, when you get ready to study MySQL and PHP, this is a helpful resource. And so I'm going to copy it here and put it in my page too. I try and do that because I forget where I got my information from. Okay, so I'm on this one right here, days to germination, and I've shortened it. I've called it germ days. I'm going to use integer. Last time I used something else, and I think that might have been my problem there. I think I used voucher or something else, but integer worked good on the record number. So I'm going to try and use that. Length value, I'm not going to put anything because I don't think I have to. I just did Control F there and started typing, and it brought me to where it talked about links. I don't think I have to put something in there. I'm not going to, and we'll see what happens. I don't think I did that on the others. Okay, this right here is giving you the SQL query statement. I'm going to copy that. Now I'm going to go back. Okay, and I'm going to copy that too. This tells you how to write the queries. Okay, now what comes after germs date? Harvest days. What we want to think about doing is collecting information from an end user in the forms of using a form. And when the submit button is submitted or clicked, having that information that the user filled out and sent to our database that we created in MySQL. This right here tells y'all how to do that. And know the URL up here. It's Tuts PHP. And I want to just go over it. First of all, you do the connect, and we talked about that earlier. You can notice that they did a database name here, and they put that variable up here too. But they did one page, and they called it the database PHP. This is the connection. That's all that's on that page. Then they created the HTML, and y'all know how to do that. And then they came down here and they created the insert PHP file. What they did was they took the post function with all the variables, and remember I told y'all that names are the variables when it comes to the PHP file. See, name, email, post, these are all name, email, mobile. In the post global variables, those are all corresponding with these attributes, these named attributes here. So whatever the user puts in that input tag, this stores it into this variables. And this is PHP variables over here with the $sign. So then they come down here and they have the SQL statement, and we practice. Okay, we did this. We ran this SQL statement, and we put this SQL statement. We put it in a variable, and then we ran it and got it to load into our database. But this lets the user put in the data and load it into the database. The first part of the SQL statement tells you where you're inserting the data into, and the second part of the SQL statement is the values you're collecting. And they are collecting the values stored in these variables. Then they're doing a MySQL query, which is a function, and it's got two variables passed to it. Or two properties passed to it. One is the connection right here, and two is the SQL. And you say, well, Amy, that connection is on another page. Yes, but you included that page right up here with include once. Okay, and then they run that, and if they echo new record has been successful, if everything's good, if everything's not good or else, they run the error and they tell you what the MySQL error is.